Welcome to In the Zone. This is going to be short. I don't know how sweet. It may be bittersweet, especially if you are a Cowboys fan. Report says Dallas Cowboys are likely to release Amari Cooper by start of new league year. So let's just take a look at this right now. On Thursday night, a report surfaced that it would be an upset if Amari Cooper returns to the Dallas Cowboys. With free agency set to begin in less than 2 weeks, the writing began to appear on the wall that the 2022 version of this team could be without their top wide receiver. Friday morning brought further clarity on the subject as ESPN's Adam Schefter went as far as saying that it is likely for the Cowboys to release Cooper before the start of the league year. As he tweeted out, Cowboys are likely to release wide receiver Amari Cooper by the start of the new league year per league sources. Cooper is due $20 million in fully guaranteed money on the 5th day of the new league year, which is March 20th. If you have been paying attention, then this day has been possible for 2 years now. The Cowboys left themselves an escape hatch in Cooper's deal in 2022 when Michael Gallup's contract ended, and according to one report, they are choosing to make the latter a priority. As Charles Robinson tweeted, part of the plan here, I'm told from a league source, is buttoning up on a long-term deal for Michael Gallup. Hashtag Cowboys felt it was an either or and making Gallup the priority. Cowboys fans would have to hope that they could at least get some draft capital for him instead of a straight release. The Cowboys offense is in a bit of a crisis right now, given that Amari Cooper could be out and Blake Jarwin is not expected to be ready for the beginning of the season. While Jarwin's role on the team isn't exactly foundational, he represented an option for them if they chose not to bring back Dalton Schultz. But considering Cooper's what feels like inevitable departure and the questions surrounding Jarwin, there is even more need to bring back Schultz. If the Cowboys are truly planning to release Amari Cooper and negotiating with both Michael Gallup and Dalton Schultz, why would they publicize how important the latter two are going to be to the team? It gives the players and their representation all of the leverage. This offseason has felt chaotic for the Cowboys, and we're only in the early days of March, as mentioned. Get ready. It feels like more is coming. Why the Dallas Cowboys are destined to fail if they do not adapt an all-in approach in 2022. A little over a year ago, the Los Angeles Rams were at a crossroads. After making it to the Super Bowl and coming up just short in 2018, the Rams failed to make the playoffs altogether in 2019, followed up by getting knocked out in the divisional round by the Green Bay Packers in 2020. The Rams could have thought to themselves, don't worry, we'll be back again, and this time it will be different. Heck, they'd gone 43-21 since Sean McVay took over full time in 2017. So they had reasons to believe they could get back to that big stage again. But instead of settling for close but no cigar, the Rams took a different approach. They went all in. Los Angeles Delta Wave signal caller Jared Goff, the guy that had just got them to the Super Bowl 2 seasons prior, from veteran Matthew Stafford. Los Angeles also had to send 2 first-round and 1 third-round pick to Detroit in exchange for Stafford, potentially mortgaging their long-term future for present success. The Rams could have changed quarterbacks and thought that was enough, but they didn't stop there. Later in the offseason, the Rams brought back pass rusher Leonard Floyd on a 4-year deal. After a good offseason, Los Angeles started off 2021 red hot. The Rams sat at 7-1 after their first 8 games, but GM Les Snead determined even that wasn't good enough. Los Angeles went out and acquired 2 star veterans, Von Miller and Odell Beckham Jr. And well, we all now know how the story ends. Stafford, Floyd, Miller, and Beckham all played integral roles in the Rams eventually getting back and eventually winning the Super Bowl, and their all-in strategy paid off in the biggest way possible. Coming into the season, the Rams had already made the Super Bowl 3 times since 1999, winning it once. So it's not like they were going through some 20-plus year Super Bowl drought that made them to push all their chips to the center of the table. I don't know about you, but if I were a team that, say, hadn't even made the NFC Championship game in 25 years, it seems like it would be smart to follow the Rams' blueprint of going all in, right? The Dallas Cowboys are one of only 5 teams in the NFL not to play in at least one conference title game since 2000. The same Cowboys that lost to a Jimmy Garoppolo-led 49ers team at home in the wild card round of this year's postseason. You'd think after continuing to fail time and time again, eventually something would have to change. But the Cowboys once again have decided close enough is good enough. They are basically running it back with the same coaching staff in 2022. They aren't planning to spend big on adding outside talent in free agency, citing their quarterback's large cap hit as a potential roadblock in adding new talent. John Machado at John Machado tweeted, Cowboys EVP, Executive Vice President, Stephen Jones talking about the salary cap on Sirius XM NFL. The salary cap is real, certainly. When you get to paying these quarterbacks, it's a quarterback-driven league. Dak deserves every penny he gets. But once you get into that league with these $40 million quarterbacks, then things have to give and take. One thing which is the good news for our organization, we've been a big believer in homegrown talent and bringing it through the draft. Now, if we can find the right pieces, value pickups, as I like to call them, so you don't have to reach in the draft and can pick a guy that don't necessarily have a need for, like a CeeDee Lamb or a Micah Parsons, and not have to reach for a corner, if you will, or if you were. Instead, as Stephen Jones made clear last week, Dallas will once again attempt to re-sign their own free agents following the same blueprint that has not worked for the last 25 years. It says, in general, from a money standpoint, if I'm looking into a crystal ball right now, I see most of our money that will go in free agency going toward our current players, said Jones. Doesn't mean that won't change. We might come across a value on a player that we say, hey, it's just one we got to take. I don't want to rule it out. But in general, we go to our players, and then we have to be efficient in the draft in terms of improving the team. Jones was even asked about the Rams' all-in approach last week, but he shut down any notion of the Cowboys doing the same. You know, there's a lot of different ways to do things, Jones said. Certainly, hats off to them. They had a hell of a year and won the Super Bowl, and certainly they went about it in a way that's pushing a lot of chips out there. So, you know, there's some forms of all of this that will probably decide where we want to be. I feel like we got a lot of good young players on this football team, and you don't want to just be starting over, if you will. If we did too much, you know, we could do the same things that could allow us to keep most of our guys if we wanted to push it all out. But we'll have a much bigger problem the next year and the year after that. The Cowboys should not continue to let good but not good enough be their standard. But this year might even be more ripe for a new strategy. For the first time since 2000, the GOAT, Tom Brady, is out of football. The Cowboys' boogeyman, Aaron Rodgers, also may be out of the NFC. I will have more on this story as more developed. So remember to always stay locked in the zone. This is yours truly, Anthony Smith, saying stay locked in the zone, and I'll be back with you again another day, another time.